start with the first question I see in the Q&A box. Basically, it says, do you think evaluating an economy in terms of spending should change because of the concern around climate change? Should India take a lead in that we already have a natural way of combining a sustainable lifestyle and attitude with economic growth?
I think that's an excellent question. Firstly, I must say that, I don't like evaluating an economy just from the consumption side, because we take the GDP and identity, which is GDP is consumption plus investment plus government spending plus net exports. X minus M, exports minus imports. Of that, in the Indian economy, consumption is about 58% makes 58% contribution to the GDP. There's still 40%, others. 30%, about 30% is investment. Now, if you just look at it from the perspective of this identity, investment accounts for 30%. But as I just explained, if you think from the virtuous, cycle perspective of economic development, the contribution of investment to consumption through this virtuous cycle is even more. And therefore, I like thinking about actually, an economy as far more driven by investment. Consumption is an outcome of that. But the cause, the ultimate cause is investment. If you want sustained growth, then it's investment that is by far more important. So that's the first point I want to make. Let's not think about it only as consumption. I think that's But second, even if you want to think about only as consumption, or let's say we focus on the consumption element, I think the idea of ethical wealth creation is so phenomenal in actually in furthering this. Because again, just go and read Tirukkural, for instance. I'm forgetting the exact shloka, but Saint Tiruvalluvar actually says that we should make wealth in a way that we don't harm others. I think in that idea, the idea of actually not polluting the environment, not cheating somebody, they're all embedded in that such a profound idea that, and another way of saying it actually is Shubh Labh. Do Shubham, do good things. And in that process become wealthy. That's what, not just Tirukkural, but even actually if you read, Arthashastra, and the Western caricature of Kautilya has been only as the Indian Machiavelli, which is actually a very, very incomplete description of Kautilya. Kautilya's Arthashastra is actually Arthashastra, means it's actually a treatise on how to become wealthy. Even Kautilya talks about similar ideas. So I think absolutely. Let me put this word dharmic capitalism as actually the way to ensure that that this happens in a sustained, that economic development happens in a sustained manner.
One more question, and I'll take that question which comes from the box. Why do we not try and emulate, and I'm amplifying it, this examples such as the Scandinavian economy? So much of it has grown from public funding. So should we emulate that? And I think this is like an additional question which says, do you think we will see in India a situation where we thrive from investment in R&D, which I think is separate two questions in one. So investments in R&D will come in India, yes. When will it come? And is there any parallel to the Scandinavian economy, which is seen as, in some sense, a higher gross happiness index economy than others?
I think that's again a very good question. I think doing fairness to this question will require a much longer answer than I'll be able to give, but I will keep it very short. I think the main idea that we have to understand is that development is path dependent. What are the kind of models that you can follow, and that includes culture, which by the way is also endogenous as in it evolves over time. At different stages of development, what works is different. I think it's very hard to just transport yourself actually or transcend into and this path dependence. So I think what is important is, in general, I would say we should not mimic anybody, whether it's as an individual. Have the confidence to be yourself, whether it's as an individual or as a country. We have our inherent strengths. We don't need to mimic anybody. Actually, take good ideas from everybody, for sure, but evaluate the the appropriateness of those ideas for us, and then apply it. I think there is no replacement for thinking from first principles. I think that is by far the most important. I think the second part was investment and R&D. I think R&D is extremely important. Even if you go back to the previous, the period that Angus Madison talks about, that was a period again that a lot of R&D used to be done. I think basic research and development is incredibly important. I think, and I'll end with this example, about C. Ramanujan, a wonderful movie that I recommend everybody to watch, The Man Who Saw Infinity. And in that, there's this, as we all know, C. Ramanujan worked on numbers. But it's important that at that time when he was doing that research, there were no applications, practical applications of that on the horizon. But that research was encouraged just for the sake of basic research. And but today, about 100 years or so after that research got done, you pick any aspect in computer science, algorithms, search engines, you find application of that. And I think the reason I'm bringing this is to actually not put the cart before the horse. You have to do research for the sake of doing research. The applications of that will come. I think that vision is extremely important in our private sector. They need to invest money in encouraging basic research and applied research, recognizing that this is an area that money has to be put in, encouragement has to happen. If somebody had asked the question, C. Ramanujan, what's the application of what you're doing today? If there is no application, I will not sponsor your research. That wouldn't have happened at all. Today's search engines wouldn't have manifested. Therefore, I'll stop there.
Fantastic. I think this is great. I think thank you very, very, very much, Subbu, for doing this in your usual style, where you take complex ideas and simplify them and also bring it together with a lot of passion in your communication. So thank you so much. And I think in the spirit of Ano Bhadra Kritavo Yantu Vishwataha, let all good ideas come to us from all sides, which you quoted as how we should, but we should be then also self-reliant or Atmanirbhar in evaluating these ideas. Not so. I would thank you very much and bring this session to a close.
Thank you.